happens when possibly Japan's craziest artist does a relatively catchy radio-friendly song? Let's find out. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where today we're going to be talking about Mindset from GACHARIC SPIN. GACHARIC SPIN, it's like gacha machine. I always get the pronunciation wrong. You know who I'm talking about. Let's just move on from there. And this is a song that came out about a year ago, and admittedly at the time I didn't cover it because I wasn't sure exactly how I felt about it, but as time's gone on and as I've listened to it more, I've really just started to really enjoy this song. So I wanted to break down a little bit about why this song is so good. First of all, to really set the scene, as you know if you've been following this channel for a while, we're always honest here. I know music is subjective, I just give my opinion, but I'm always honest. And I must admit that we'd just come off of the back of the Gold Dash album, and I really didn't like that album. In fact, my biggest problem with that album is just everything kind of sounded messy. Nothing seemed to click. And one of the things that works so well about GACHARIC SPIN is the fact that they have all of these crazy ideas and they always just seem to click. You look at their earlier stuff, and certainly for a long period of their career, even when you're going through to things like the Dolls Box collaboration, they can just do anything and just somehow it works. And it's like, oh, okay, we're going to have like some really crazy solo happen here, just out of nowhere. Oh, suddenly we've gone from something chill to something screaming, and just often it flowed well. But I, at the point that Mindset came out, was a little bit unsure whether I felt like GACHARIC SPIN had maybe made some wrong turns. When this song came out, it was much more sort of chilled out than I expected. Like I say, it just kind of had an immediately likable, radio-friendly feel to it. And so it was something that was a bit hard for me to get my mind around how to approach this. But as time went on and I started listening to it more and more, I just realized that, you know what? For a band who are so good at doing crazy, this is an example of how to do something that at its core is quite a simple song, but really build it up through having fantastic musicianship. And how many times have I said this? If you want to do something poppy, something that isn't that experimental, you can do it if you know how to deliver it with the finesse in the right places, to know how to deliver the right details. And boy oh boy, that is what Mindset does. So what is this song? Well, for the majority of its runtime, it's a fairly simple core-based sort of funk song with a lot of slap bass in there that I really like, a really funky rhythm going on with the drums, but also the vocals, they nicely shift. We get a nice catchy chorus, but we also get some kind of like semi-rapping in the verse. The way that the vocal is always changing but staying rhythmic means the whole song is just constantly sort of pounding, bouncing around, doing all these interesting little rhythmic things, whilst at the same time not shaking you off, not going so crazy as to make it hard to follow. And this all culminates in a bridge that I really enjoyed, because the bridge basically goes in a jazz direction in that we get kind of little bits of breakdowns and solos from various instruments. As always, I love the keyboard. The piano bit was beautiful. Hashtag no bias to the fact that Oreo won the keyboard player section in our perfect band competition on the channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to follow all that stuff. And you know, she was absolutely brilliant, but just everything there, you know, the way that the drums came in, had their little runs, their little fills, whilst also doing the vocals. Credit where it's due, that's multitasking for you. The guitar work throughout was superb. This was just a song where so much was happening, but most of the time it was just to maintain a rhythm, but everyone knew when to step forward and do their little bit, to add their little bit of character throughout the song, to have that really interesting solo. It was like all of the musicians, they were just working like a well-oiled machine. So even though on the surface this song looks simpler than a lot of the songs that we maybe love GACHARIC SPIN for, this is a song that I think highlights their best qualities in a very, dare I say, refined way. Now, credit where it's due as well. The video is really good at keeping you moving. I like the fact that it really, it was easy to see each of the musicians, see their expressions, see their performance, whilst also cutting quickly. It wasn't relying on sort of blurry, choppy effects. It was a lot just about really giving you a quick burst of the expressions of each person on the screen at each time. It was nicely framed. It was well done. The video was really good. The only thing that did get me is I often say this now, when you see bits in videos where people destroy instruments, I'm kind of like, oh no. I mean, there's one part of me which is like, hey, you're destroying an instrument, but there's another part of me which is like, isn't destroying instruments is supposed to be like a really rebellious thing to do 50 years ago? It's like, it doesn't look rebellious anymore. It's like, yeah, if someone smashed up instruments, you're just like, yeah, that's what you do when you want to be a rebel. It didn't quite have the craziness in the video that I'm used to having from GACHARIC SPIN, but I get the feeling that was probably the director's choice. It's like, hey, smash up your instruments. And I'm pretty sure that if you tell GACHARIC SPIN to smash up a bunch of instruments, don't worry, it's on the record company's wallet. They're going to do it and have fun anyway. But yeah, I did think that was a bit of a weird choice for the video, but from there it went in a fun direction. It was just really fun, as I say, to see all of the members just really laying into it and being shown performing unleashed. So in conclusion, it maybe took me longer than it should have done to really accept and fall in love with the song Mindset, partly because just GACHARIC SPIN are not the sort of band I would normally go to for a sort of funky pop song. And you know, if you turn off the video, turn off that crazy element and just listen to it, with exception to some of the lyrical content, this is a song that you just kind of follow along to and go, yeah, this is funky. It's funky. It's kind of like I can't think of an example that won't sound insulting. Like a popular, funky Western artist, but good. And yeah, as well, it's the fact that to do this song, they didn't restrain on their musicianship. They were just very good in knowing where and when to accent various things, where to show off their talent and where to keep their talent as just part of, you know, the sort of rolling funky thesis of the song. So there you go, those are my thoughts. As always, get into the comments, tell me what you think. Remember, all the liking and subscribing, but I'm really interested to know, is this a song, was this a surprise for you when it came out? Maybe you know more about GACHARIC SPIN than me. I'm mostly familiar with the singles, so maybe you're more familiar with this kind of music from them. How did you feel about the album directly before, which I think it was directly before this album that we had Gold Dash. How did you feel about that? Because as I say, that album didn't really do it for me. Is this a good contrast to that? Just let me know your thoughts. Looking forward to hearing that. As always, great to speak to the fans, and I always read as many comments as I can to try and inform my reviews in the future. So there you go, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao ciao.